Greetings, greetings, greetings. Peace and love, everybody. We are coming live once again back for another conversation. Tonight we are doing the abuser side conversation. And hold on, give me a second. And this conversation is going to be, of course, another good one, because guess what? We got Christopher Bonds in the building tonight. And Christopher Bonds have been volunteering with domestic violence with many tags since 2010. We were just talking about that. He's going to come up next. But tonight, I'm getting back to the warning signs of an abusive personality because again, this is a conversation that we continue to go amiss. It continues to go above our heads. It continues to still be an issue. It continues to, still be a problem where people are saying, look, I didn't know about the tags, or, I didn't understand, the warning signs. What are those red flags? People, we still get that type of data, coming back when I'm out in the community and I'm getting the comment cards and things filled out, trying to collect some data to assess, where people are really going amiss at with this conversation. And this is for, different populations that I've been out in the community and have been privy to talk to and speak with about this conversation. And, it's just terrible how we still don't have the knowledge that we need to understand, domestic violence wears many tags. It is those 5 tags that it wears. And a lot of times, number one in those tags is going to be verbal abuse. We don't talk about, the fact that verbal abuse is the number one way that people can find themselves in an abusive relationship. We don't talk about that tag as being a number one way where, somebody can get manipulated into a relationship. We don't talk about it being a place of verbal abuse being a place of belittling, and withholding, discounting, discrediting, someone, making them feel like they're less than, what they are. We have a tendency to do that a lot at our dinner tables. We don't take into consideration that our young people are sitting there watching how we communicate with one another, how we talk to one another, how we, resolve conflict at the dinner table. We don't even second guess that, what, these children are here listening to this. I'm Queen Afee, the founder of Domestic Violence Wears Many Tags organization. I jumped ahead because if you don't know me, I want you to know that one of the things that I'm completely concerned about is our dinner tables. They are so messed up. And it has become a place that is not safe. For a lot of us, the dinner table has become a place that is not safe. And it's actually supposed to be a place that is safe. So how do we, begin to get back at our dinner tables and make our dinner tables that safe space where we're able to talk about things that are uncomfortable to us, where we're able to have an opinion, where we're able to hear from our young people and ask our young people how you feel today about your day or about what happened to you. How can we get our dinner tables in a space where everybody can share? Everybody gets an opportunity to say what they feel. Everybody get an opportunity to have a voice, because that's what we really need to have the voice at our dinner tables. I mean, I can come from behind the dinner table and able to voice all out in the community and everywhere else, but what good that's going to do if my dinner table ain't on board with me having a voice? You know, because I'm going to need my dinner table to be able to back me up on having a voice for the community or having a voice for people that are in situations like domestic violence. February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. And if you don't know, I lost my daughter at 19 years old, you know, in this heated relationship, you know, where she did not think that this guy would pull the trigger. She didn't think he would. You know, and most of our young females, young girls that are in a relationship, they don't see it like that. They don't see it like, oh, my boyfriend or this man that I love and care about is going to actually pull the trigger. You know, but he been exemplifying the whole time that he would pull the trigger. You know, he been strangling, or he been hitting her, or he been shoving, he been smacking, he been pushing, he been kicking. He been showing signs of pulling the trigger, but he never actually pulled the trigger. You know, no young female is thinking that, you know, that you know, my baby father would actually go through with killing me. You know, so we got to get better at, you know, that conversation. We got to get better with it. And the other thing about that is that we got to include our young men in the conversation. We got to include our young boys in the conversation, because they actually don't know what it is to exit a violent relationship. They don't know what it is to do, because we negate the fact that they should know. You know, we think if we tell them just walk away, that's going to resolve the problem. That ain't going to resolve the problem, because you got the females in front of the door saying, hit me. I wish you would hit me. Hit me. Yeah, so what he's supposed to do? If he's trying to exit and you got the female at the door saying, hit me, what he's supposed to do? Come on now. Come on now. Y'all know better than that. That's the thing. You know better than that. You know that our young men need to understand what it is to be in a healthy relationship. And they also need to understand what it is to be in an unhealthy relationship. But do we take the time to teach our young boys? No, we just tell them, you know, things like walk away. Where he's thinking, well, what is it? You know, what is that when she's telling me I'm trying to walk away, but she's talking about hit me, hit me, hit me. Okay, so some of them going to say, well, if I hit her, she going to move out the way. You know, where if I hit her, then I can knock her out, and then I can actually get out the door at that point. Move out the way. Let that young man exit. Don't talk about something in front of the door. Hit me, hit me, hit me. Move out the way. Let that person exit. If you see things are too heated, our young people, our teenagers, our young adults, if you see things are too heated, move out the way and allow that young man to leave outside the door, if that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Let him leave. Don't stand in front of the door and ever say, hit me, hit me, hit me. Because that's not going to be good. You know, things end up happening bad like that. You know, when you stand in front of the door telling somebody hit you, things happen bad like that. And we don't want that. We want you to go ahead and let that person leave. You know, think about your questions and your comments out there. How do you feel? February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. You know, it's the color orange. I'm wearing purple tonight, but it's domestic violence. It's all falling under the same rim. I'm part of the Smile for Smiley Love movement. 1 million people need to know my daughter's story, you know, because I was her mom out here doing this work in the community, and 7 years, and then my daughter get killed. So it can knock on anybody's door. Nobody is not, you know, privy to getting domestic violence, or, you know, being in a domestic violence situation or having domestic violence knock on your door personally. You know, that's why it's good to know the signs. The warning signs of an abusive personality is also good to know the tags, you know. So I mentioned verbal abuse. Let's talk about emotional abuse, because emotional abuse is going to fall right intact with the verbal abuse that our young people do to each other. You know, they cuss each other out real bad. They talk down to each other, and they supposed to be in a relationship, friendship. You know, then you have it with some parent relationships and things, and that caregiver relationship where they verbally abuse really bad. You know, and it costs you emotionally, because in your mind you're trying to process somebody saying this and doing this to you. You're trying to process that. You know, you're trying to understand, wow, did my mom just call me the B word? You know, or did my dad just say I was a punk? You know, the child is stepping back and looking and saying, wow, did my parent just say that to me? You know, so we got to be very careful when we are, you know, saying certain things to our children. You know, we don't want to say things to, you know, to correct them, but we want to say things that will, you know, encourage them to be great. Encourage them to say, okay, wow, I apologize. I'm sorry I said that. You know, I should have never said that to you. I should have never went that route to you. We don't even want to apologize, you know, for some of the stuff we be saying. We had trouble with apologizing to that person that we so-called love and so-called care about. You know, we think that it's that, okay, since I know him or her, I've raised him or her, they gonna be good. I can say whatever, they'll be good. Well, it's the truth. You know, the blunt speaker kills me. That person who called himself the blunt speaker, y'all need help, for real. The blunt speaker needs some help, because you sabotage a child's inner, literally. That person who say, I speak my mind. What is that? Because I may have grown up with you. And I know your mindset from when we grew up. So you speak your mind, and trust me, I know what that means when you say you speak your mind. Okay? You liable to emotionally scar. You speak your mind, you liable to traumatize the hell out of a child or a young person, because you so-called speak your mind. You're not thinking before you speak. You're not thinking before you speak. No, you're not. The blunt speaker, the person who says that I speak my mind, you don't think before you speak. You don't. And I can put you to the test if you want me to. And I know I'm going to win. I'm going to win, because you don't think before you speak. You just say things. And, you know, it's like, damn if I do, damn if I don't. Oh, well, they got to get over. Oh, well, somebody had to tell them. No. That's not effective communication. That's not going to help that person feel good about the situation, or feel good about themselves, or process anything that you have to say to them, because you're sabotaging them. They feel attacked. They feel bullied. They feel belittled. They feel discredited. You know, they feel probably manipulated to some extent. You know, let's be real. Let's be real and tell the truth about it. I don't have no comments out here, so what y'all saying? I'm wrong? If y'all want to come on in and call me wrong, because we could do that too. But the truth needs to be told. This side, the abuser side, because we got a lot of abusers out there. And nobody do not speak up for the abuser. Nobody, all we want to do is take the keys and throw away the abuser. And that's not rehabilitating the abuser. That's not going to change the abuser's mind. That's not going to get the abuser on point with, you know, understanding where it comes from, because there's a lot of research that supports that abusers were victims of domestic violence first. Okay, and I seen that. I see that. I still see that. I still see that in a lot of women. I see it in a lot of men where they were victims first. And now they are the abuser. I see it. Extra, extra. Read all about it. Y'all know how I go. Let's go to financial abuse, because financial abuse, our young people get their checks. And your boyfriend or girlfriend only call you when they know you got the check and when they hungry. They hungry now. They want a meal. So now you got to cough up your little $25 that you set aside to get on the bus with or take your Uber to work. You got to set that to the side because you know your abuser going to be calling and saying, boo, you got that money? You got it. You find yourself paying for the Uber, constantly paying for the Uber, constantly paying for the Lyft, constantly paying for the food. I mean, you getting DoorDash, and then turn around when it's time for you to eat. You don't have no money to eat because the abuser that ate all your food up. You know, and we got these pregnancies where our young people and our young males and females are getting pregnant, like running water. This is going to be a financial strain. This is a burden, a financial burden at your age because your career is not intact. You're not intact financially to support the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 children that our young people got at one time. I met a young man. He had 5 children. He was 24 years old, okay? 24 years old, leaned over in the classroom with me because he didn't know what to do. 24 years old with 6, I think it was like 5 or 6 children maybe. And approximately maybe 3 baby mothers involved. Come on. You ain't gonna tell me that young man ain't stressed out. And you got one baby mother putting you over here, you got the other one putting you over there, and you just don't know what to do. His locks was real long like mine was, and he was ready to just pull them locks out of his head. That's how stressed out he was about having all of these children and not knowing what to do, not in a position, literally, to take care of all his children. Everybody say, stand up and be a man. You made them. They yours. You had them. You need to take care of them. Yeah, that's easier said than done when you find yourself with 6 children and you're down on your luck. And mentally, your thoughts ain't there. Financially, the money is depleted because I got to smoke and drink these thoughts away so I can try to make it through the next second. See, you don't know what that brother or sister could be going through when they having multiple pregnancies like that. And then we jump up and tell them, lead a relationship. Where they going with all those children like that in the relationship? Where they going? You don't even want them at your house for real. So when you tell them to leave, where's he or she going? There's a lot of times that they don't want to leave their children. They are afraid. Men and women be afraid to leave their children with that person because they have seen some, abusive tendencies in their partner. So a lot of times they be afraid to leave the children with the girls and the boys, females and males. See what I mean? Be afraid to leave the children because they say this person is so abusive. I thought that they had the potential to hurt my children, to hurt my child. I didn't want to leave my child and have them get hurt. And trust me, you have a lot of men who reach out to me about not wanting to leave their children because the mom is abusive and aggressive. See, one thing we got to stop doing is acting like this is a one-sided conversation. This is not a one-sided conversation. Domestic violence will tear the family up. Male and female will be ripped to shreds messing with something like domestic violence. And I ain't talking about this because my daughter got murdered. No, I've been talking about this. Before my daughter was murdered, I've been talking about this dinner table conversation. And not to mention, some of us who end up, mentally ill behind it. Behind going through childhood where somebody had constantly put you down, constantly beat you down, emotionally scarred you, nonchalant, ain't paid you no amount of attention, did not give a child the affection that they need, did not do skin to skin. Most of y'all did not do skin to skin with your children. And that is a huge part of childbearing and having that child feeling emotionally connected to that parent. Most of you have not done that. And you want to talk about having babies. Okay, all right, do you. Do what you want to do. Do you. But I'm trying to tell you something. We better start doing better. We better start doing better. Because we've been doing bad. We got to start doing better. We got to make domestic violence a dinner table conversation. This ain't the time to shut the door on nobody because the money ain't important towards that way. The grants ain't important towards that way. So we ain't gonna talk to our young men because we can't get no grant money for teaching them about domestic violence. That's foolish. That's foolish, and your motive is questionable to me at that point. It's questionable to me. I see a lot of people going towards that money, that grant money. And that's pointing in the direction of women. The Violence Against Women Act. Federal government mans that money. And under those laws, the men are not covered. So most people is not even going to talk about the men being victims of domestic violence because it ain't no grant money, financial money. And we talking about financial abuse. Go figure. So what? I don't care. I don't care. It's facts right here. It's facts right here. It's nonsense when everybody at the dinner table cannot be helped. It's nonsense with a subject like this and with research showing that we got 4.2 million men that are victims of domestic violence. When research is showing us this and everybody going in the opposite direction of our young men needing help with this conversation, everybody going to where the money and where the grants is pointing at instead of covering the entire dinner table underneath this conversation. Come on, E. You know it's a shame. You know it's a shame, Ebony. Come on, sis. It's ridiculous. But, everybody got to make their money. Everybody got to, non-profit this and non-profit that. And you got to point in the way the money is going. The grants is going. You got to go that way. But domestic violence, it don't work like that. This conversation right here, I don't know about nothing else. But this conversation right here don't work like that. It don't work like that. Our young girls, as well as our young boys, get ripped to shreds by domestic violence. Yeah. From verbal abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse. And I'm going to move to the fourth tag, sexual abuse. Sexual abuse. And we try to make sexual abuse more stranger danger, when in fact, it's dinner table danger. Sexual abuse is dinner table danger. It's more dinner table danger than it is stranger danger, because you set up and had a young boy sitting right beside that person who had molested him. But because, the Violence Against Women Act don't cover our young men getting, recovery for domestic violence. Oh, well. He got to man up. You ain't no punk then, and, you ain't no sucker. I'm raising a man. How you raising a man at 2? And somebody in fondle with your 2-year-old. You're sick in the mind your daggone self. You need some help. At this point, you need some help. Anytime you think that it's okay to give a young boy a trophy because his babysitter had sex with him, you retarded. You sick. It's something wrong with you. Yes, I'm going to say it because that's what I do. That's what I do. I tell the truth. because I don't like our young people being affected at the dinner table for the stuff that we done been through, because we refuse to get the help that we need to start really breaking the strongholds of domestic violence. We don't want to get the education that we need, the therapy that we need to start breaking those cycles when it comes to domestic violence. Chris Barnes will come on in and tell it like it is, as the abuser, as the male abuser. He know. Yeah, I might have the facts here tonight. See, you're going to hear from somebody who done it. Okay? It's just as simple as that. You know, sexual abuse is serious when we don't sit our young people down and tell them what their body parts are. We tell them, nah, pee, wah, woo, boo. Well, that's not your body parts. I'm going to need y'all to start telling the children what their body parts are. I'm going to need y'all to start telling them what's a good touch and what's a bad touch. And I'm going to also need y'all to start telling them that, you know, if that's a family member doing it to them, they need to let you know ASAP. Because it's not going to go down like this. Too many young children run away from home because they are being sexually molested by your new boyfriend or your new girlfriend, or, you know, your friend or family member, or, you know, spiritual realm. Let's go to church for a minute. Things are happening in our church community with sexual abuse is not stranger danger. It's church danger. Sexual abuse is church danger, mosque danger, Buddha danger, Hindu danger, all of the above. Catholic danger. Sexual abuse is more dangerous in our private lives than it is than Ted Bundy coming back from the dead and messing with our children out in the street, unbeknownst to them. We get more psychologically messed up when it's somebody in our family, close in our circle, in our environment, in our identity, in our private environments, who have sexually molested our children. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts a young boy and it hurts a young girl to sit beside somebody that they know and that they know you know is around here touching the children. Now, go tell him I said that. I don't care. Go tell him. I don't care. I tell him. I tell him anyway. I don't care. Our young people have a right to grow up in a space in their dinner tables that is safe. And when we do not offer them that, when we give them less than that, it is our fault as leadership at the dinner table. When we do not cover them with conversations and, you know, providing them the education that they need behind life skills and these life skill conversations, we do them a disservice. We do our young people a disservice at our table. And our love is questionable. You know, our respect is questionable. Our behavior is questionable, you know, to the children, to the young people, because they say, why wouldn't my mother never tell me this? Why wouldn't my dad never teach me this? Why wouldn't the people who raised me never give me this? Why did I have to get 50 and figure this out after I done been hurt all my life that I was molested by my own daggone father, who I thought was my uncle? That's another thing. We give family members the wrong titles and carrying on and stuff, and children come in, they grow up so confused. They don't know who the uncle is, who the father is. They don't know who the mother is. Is she the aunt, the grandmother? They be so confused. Get it together. Come on now, get it together. Get it together. Get it together, because research is showing that we ain't together. We're not together, period. I'm going to move on into that last tag, physical abuse. Physical abuse going to be the last tag because the best abuser don't even put their hands on you. The best one really don't want to hit you. The best one, as a matter of fact, don't have to hit you. See what I mean? So the best one can look at you and straighten you right on up. The best one can say, you know, a few whispers in your ear. The best one can text your phone and say a few things and get you together. Never have to put my hands on you. See, but you got some abusers who put their hands on the victim, you know, and they will strangle them and they will smack them. And you've been seeing it on the internet where the victim and the abuser having spitting matches. They're spitting on each other. Back and forth, spit, 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 spit. And the whole baby in the car. And the baby then rolled out the car in the car seat because these two having a spitting match. What is going on? We are psychotic. We have lost our everlasting mind. And I wanted to have my head cocked to the side because I'm done. I'm done. I can't. Our young girls know that their boyfriends carry these guns, AK-47s, Uzis, Glocks. They know their boyfriends carry these guns. They know the boyfriends have put the guns to them and say, I will kill you. They know it. My daughter knew it. I knew it. When I was in the whole situation, I knew it. My boyfriend had mad guns. Okay? Mad guns. You heard me? All right? The girls be knowing. Our young girls be knowing. Okay? Because the boyfriends then whipped it out on them and told them. See what I mean? So when you start rebelling against that, you know what I mean? You got people in your head, you got people in your telling you leave. And I'm the abuser. I'm telling you, man, stop listening to them. Stop listening to them. They gonna get you killed. The abuser will sit there and tell the victim. And our young girls know your boyfriends have told you that. Your mother gonna get you killed. Keep listening to her. You leave this time, you better stay gone. Because if you come back, I'ma kill you. I'm looking you dead in your face out there. Because my young girls know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. These the dudes you sleeping beside. These the dudes you trying to make it work with somebody psychotic like that. And heck, it ain't all his fault. It ain't all his fault. I ain't pointing the finger. It ain't all his fault. I'm sympathetic towards our young men because, again, our young men are not being educated about what healthy relationships are because ain't no grant money pointing to them. See, so they get left out of the conversation. But as long as I'm here, our young men and our older men will be included in the conversation because I'm smart enough to know better. I'm smart enough to know that domestic violence hurts every single person at that dinner table. Young to old, old to young, male or female. Domestic violence does not discriminate the gender. The money do. Yeah, the money discriminates the gender. But domestic violence don't care about your gender. It will chew you up and spit you out. And now we got a murder-suicide. We had the young girl who was just murdered and left, what, 5 or 6 children behind? She was just murdered over Southeast, I believe. Somebody come on here and tell me about it. See what I mean? It's ridiculous. See what I mean? And she didn't know. And a brother told me, or somebody came in my DM and told me, say, Queen, she was trying to get some help. She just didn't know who to ask or who to turn to. That's why y'all got to be talking about it. Y'all got to be talking about it. You got to stop sugarcoating this mess and sweeping it under the rug. You got to stop letting somebody cross your doorstep and put their shoes in your bedroom and you sleeping beside a cold cock killer. And now you got babies with this killer. And that could be a female killer or a male killer. Because we got some women out here who going in for the kill too. They getting off the bus. They beating the boyfriends up. They tracking down the girl on the side chick. They tracking her down. These girls, these young girls, they handling the business out here like a man would do, like a young boy would do. The behavior is not changing. What I'm seeing is that the abuser's behavior is trending. And it is trending more in our females, and it is trending more in our males. Nobody is right or wrong here. We are just dropping the ball. Clearly, we are dropping the ball when it comes to domestic violence. I'm sorry. Oh, my mom said she had 6 children. She had 6 children, Mom. This is just ridiculous. And she looked like she was no more than my daughter's age. maybe 19 through 25. That age group of young girls, man, y'all are in some stuff. 19 through 25, my daughter age group, y'all are in some stuff with these young men. The young men, the cycle of your young men is so traumatized because they don't and have not been privy to the help early on. Like our young girls, you know, they got the multiple programs that will come in and sit with the young girls, but because the money ain't pointing to the young men, they go to jail. You know, and I asked the judge, could my daughter, baby father, get a mental evaluation? And she said no. So, I mean, what? Can we get some help for the young men? Can we get the young men up to speed where emotionally they are getting more and more better, more and more intelligent, to know that if I'm dealing with a woman who's putting their hands on me or who's spitting on me or who verbally abused me, because you got some females out here who be tearing y'all phones up, tearing the young boys' phones up. I mean, calling them all kind of broke bastards. You ain't no good. You will never be no good. You dirty. You stink. But this your baby father. This the man you still will text back and say, I love you, boo. I just said that because I was mad. I really do love you. Stop making me mad. I want you to stop cheating on me. If he cheating on you, take that daggone evidence that you have and believe it. Sisters, young girls, y'all got to start believing your own evidence. You don't even believe your own evidence. You be around collecting the evidence all up in his phone, all peekaboo, 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 and you don't believe none of the stuff you read. Because you still do what? Take them back, take them back, take them back, take them back, take them back. Emotional abuse at its finest. Oh, you said she was 30 years old, Mom. That's right, still right in on the age group. Still right in Smiley age group. 25 through 30. I'm sorry, 19 through 30. I mean, that's still right there. Still right there. And a couple of people have came to me in my inbox and said, Queen, she was looking for a way out, but didn't know which way to turn. You know? And nobody said, oh, ding dong, Queen of Feet, let me get you to call her. Come on now. Whatever. All right, whatever. I'm trying to go to slide to grooming. Chris Barnes is coming up at 9 o'clock. Let me finish my part. Then me and Chris Barnes, we gonna get into the pop with all of y'all out there tonight, because y'all need some pop. Nah, you know I love you though. Look, okay, grooming. You say, Queen, you know, where does it start? How did my daughter end up in this situation? How did my son end up in this situation? Because February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, you know, so we got to put that message out there for our young people that we want them to start getting in tune with what they're actually going through in some of these relationships, that they are unhealthy, that they don't mean them no good. And some of us have got to start devising that plan. Our young men got to start devising their exit plan. And our young girls have got to start devising their exit plan. But you say, where does it start? It starts with grooming. It starts with that abuser getting into your mind. So the abuser want to hear all of the sad stories about how no one was in your life. No one never cared about you. You know, you may have grown up in the foster care system. You know, you may have been traumatized, sexually abused at your dinner table. You know, these things the abuser feed off of because it allows them to get inside your head. It lets them see how deep they can get inside of you. They take a picture of your insides when you start pouring that stuff out to the person that's sitting across from you that you really don't know if you could trust this person or not. You really don't know if you could trust that person now. You say, oh, we went to school together. That was a long time ago, boo-boo. Who are they today? Because you still got to know who they are today. That we went to school, mass, that was a long time ago. People have been through some stuff now. So when you telling somebody your story, your personal traumatic experiences, the abuser becomes your therapist. Unbeknownst to you. The abuser turns into your therapist. And they want to, you know, give you all of the feelings that you never felt. They want to give you all of the words that you never heard. They want to say the things that make you feel comfortable and feel loved and feel inspired. They gain access, to start isolating you within. They start gaining access by tapping into your story, by you coming and pull your heart out about what has happened to them. That is where it starts. Another place that you can see where it started is, you go out on a date and or let's say they having a cookout, a family cookout or something like that. So you go to the family cookout and you see how these people are acting at the cookout. That's going to be a visual perspective of who raised this person. And is this a family that I want to tie my name to or no? I'll continue to be alone before I sit up here and deal with that. Or I'll continue to work on my own inner. I'll continue to work on my own career. You have things you could be doing. You have things that you could be doing for your purpose. But we be so worried about getting with somebody else. And trust me, Queen, because I had to learn my own lesson. I had to learn my own lesson about getting into myself and understanding what I'm supposed to be doing in this world. And thank God I'm still young and I'm still able to tap into that and go ahead and make that change for myself. And I'm not too concerned about what somebody else got going on at this point. I'm worried about my own destiny. And I'm still young. And I'm telling you, while you young, get into it now. Don't get caught up into the cycle of, I got to be with somebody, I got to be with somebody, I got to be with somebody. Because no, you don't. You got to focus in on you. Be loyal to yourself. Be loyal to your process. Don't be loyal to somebody else's process and it's the same person spitting on you. All right, let me go to the next slide. Verbal abuse. Verbal abuse, the psychological punishment, the degrading remarks, or running down any accomplishments, brainwashing your opinions does not matter. And I mean literally does that abuser, male and female, brainwash the mess out of that victim. They have the victim thinking that they cannot, they will not, they shall not, they won't not, whatever ones you want to put not on, the abuser literally has that victim thinking constantly, I am not. I'm nothing. And you hear victims say in the psychological punishment that I was always considered to be at fault. He or she blamed me for everything. I was constantly at fault. And then when I wanted to say no more, the threats came. So now the verbal abuse, the verbal threats are coming, the attacks are coming now. That's even when we got our young people in elementary school with the bullying. When you don't do what that abuser brainwash, that other little child brainwashing you to do, which is give me the money at 3 o'clock while I black both of your eyes. And I done had both of mine black, believe me. Okay? And it ain't no good look or no good feeling. All right? Let's talk about the truth here. Okay? And then them threats come, and now it's physical. To where that person, that bully have really beat that child up, and took the money, or beat the child up and just took their lunch, or beat the child up just because I know I could. Because most time abusers will know when they can beat you up. The abuser know when they can hit you. Let me tell you something. The abuser know your death day. Period, point blank. That's how simple it is. The abuser know your death day. So long as you keep going through the back and forth and the back and forth and the back and forth, the abuser know your death day. It's on the plate. It's on the plate. All they doing is ready. That's all they're going to do is pull it up. It's time. Just like the young girl who just was killed, 30 years old. That abuser knew that it was time. She ain't about to go question nobody else about nothing else. She ain't about to ask nobody about nothing else. She ain't about to listen to nobody about nothing else. Because I'm going to lay her down. And that's exactly what that abuser did. Shut it all down. Took her from all 6 of her children. Come on now. Y'all better stop playing with verbal abuse. Because it's the number one way. And Chris Barnes going to let you have it. It's the number one way that somebody can tell that they are in an abusive relationship. Be it with your parents, our young people at the dinner table, somebody constantly call you dumb, you stupid, you fool. You never going to be nothing. You ain't nothing. I wish I wouldn't have never had you. When you tell a child you wish you never had them, do you know the type of traumatic experience psychologically, how punishing that is to a child. Now, you don't know because y'all still do it. Y'all don't even know. Isolation. Now, the thing about isolation is isolation with the abuser. The abuser comes to isolate your mind from you. I don't really put no emphasis on your clothes and your hair, isolate you from your mother and all them. No. I put the most of my emphasis on your mind, isolating you from your own mind. So when you hear the victim say, I was brainwashed, he or she really is. Because they're not thinking for themselves, because I don't allow them to do that, because I've stole their mind. Once they poured out the grooming process to me, once we're in the grooming process and I figured out psychologically and verbally how I can isolate them from their own mind, they no longer are in their own mind. Understand that that's how domestic violence works. Understand that that's how the warning signs work. That's how isolation works, okay? And then the victim goes on to tell people, I can't talk to you. I can't be around you. I can't wear that. I can't do this. I can't do that. See, I need the victim to really voice that. See, because then she make me look good. He or she make me look good. It make me look like, I'm a good person. And I have been isolating them from their own mind. It makes it look like they making their own decision. When in fact, they're not. They're not making their own decision. The abuser know how to get in there and literally, psychologically steal the victim's mind. This is how deep this thing is. This is deeper than just lead a relationship, okay? This is deeper than telling somebody, just leave. Stop with the just leave. Would you stop already? Because victims are dying behind you doing that. Because their mind can't process 1 second from the next, because the abuser has isolated them from their own mind. That's why this young girl, 30 years old, couldn't figure out the help. Because the abuser had stole her mind from her. She couldn't think where to go. She couldn't think what to do. So she ended up where she is. And that is no longer with us. And I dare say how many of you told her to leave a relationship. I couldn't never tell my daughter that, because it just ain't the right thing to say. Where they gonna go? First thing the victim says, where am I going? Where am I going? The abuser gonna find the abuser know everywhere the victim is at. Male and female abusers be tracking. They spend a whole lot of money on tracking the victim. Believe that. Abusers, they got all kind of apps and all kind of things that they spend money on to track the victim. So where the victim thinks she going, or where the victim think he going, y'all better get it together. I'm telling you. And when your mind is with me as the abuser, when I know that your mind is with me, honey, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. Nada. Capiche? Nada. Nowhere. Anyway, let me do one more, and then I'm gonna get Chris Barnes. I don't want to do jealousy, because y'all know I want to do unrealistic expectations, because you got all these people who put unrealistic expectations on you in these relationships. You the breadwinner. You the sex slave. You logistically take care of everything. The abuser don't really have to do nothing, because you do it all. And they financially rip a victim apart. And your abuse can be the breadwinner and still rip you apart, because the abuser know how to do it. They buy you the cell phone so they can track you. Number one. They buy you the car so they can track you. Okay? Number two. You don't need nobody buy your car and buy yourself. You get your own cell phone, your own car. You don't allow nobody to be tracking you. You're a grown woman in a healthy relationship. You're a grown man in a healthy relationship. You ain't got to track nobody. You ain't got to keep nobody when they don't want to be kept, honey. Okay? When you grown. When you have learned these warning signs, you know better. The next somebody put some unrealistic expectations on you, like, I just cooked you a steak tonight, And now you want shrimp, really? And you about to go get them too. You gonna take your food stamp card, and believe me, in the pandemic, y'all been getting a lot of food stamps. And you've been buying things for the abuser. You keep all the ice cream in there, the cereal, the milk, all. I mean, you do the whole 9. And this person don't do nothing but belittle you and throw you under the bus. And everything that you try, the abuser throw you under the bus. Because it's never good enough for the abuser. Because I got to make you feel like you ain't good enough. And so long as I can do that, I can keep you. I know psychologically, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't in your own mind to think long enough to go nowhere, to plan an escape. You ain't planning no exit because you ain't even got your own mind. How you going to plan an exit? That's why you leave and come back. Victims leave and come back because, yeah, I'm in control of your mind. You ain't in your own self. You need me to put these unrealistic expectations on you to make it happen. I'm making it happen for you. You can't make it happen for yourself. So, yeah, I got to put unrealistic expectations on you to make sure you're doing what I need you to do and to make sure you at the location that I need you to be in and what time I need you to be in. Now, young people, trust and know, if that girlfriend say she coming to Popeyes to get him off his job, he better come out of there on time, or else it ain't going to be pretty. She will make him lose his job. And this is a job that he got to try to feed her and the children. But trust and know, females come on their boyfriend's jobs and make them lose their jobs. And then you tell everybody, oh, he can't even keep a job. But you calling the job. And this man trying to work a job, but you calling the job. Erratic behavior. Females are erratic. They are impulsive. They don't think. And a lot of them don't know how to be in a healthy relationship with a man, with a young man. Talking about men don't know how to be in a healthy relationship. We got some females out here who are just chaotic and don't know what to do about no relationship being no healthy relationship. It's just saying. I'm done. Chris Bonds, we're going to get Chris Bonds up here. I'm going to let Chris Bonds go ahead and do what he do. Come on in and you do what you do, honey, because look, all I could do is say what I had to say. And that's, that's just that. You take it over and say what needs to be said.
Well, I was listening rather intently, and I'm over here taking notes, as y'all can see.
Woohoo! He's in class. That's right, Chris.
And I think the first thing I want to touch on, because you mentioned a guy, I think you said he was 25 with like 5 kids. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the listening people know this, but okay, so I don't pay my child support. I go to job readiness training, which doesn't really help, but it's something you have to do just to not get to be part of the process. I was in job readiness training, and I didn't know this term then. It's called ghetto twins. So this guy had 2 girls pregnant when he was 14. And I was like, whoa, you had 2 girls pregnant when you were 14. Mm-hmm. That was deep. And you still having kids. Like, I was in my 30s in the program. He was older than me.
Wow.
It seemed like that would have taught me a very important lesson in life. Mm-hmm. But, that's him. That's not me. You also talked about getting away from your abuser. I remember we used to have the He Has No Clue campaign.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's still around. Mm-hmm. And remember some time ago, we interviewed this young lady. I don't remember her full story, but her husband took her to the post. They went to the post office, and the husband left her alone for a minute, and she slipped a note to the postal worker. Mm-hmm. But, if you want to get away, you got to kind of be slick about it. You kind of got to be crafty about it. But most importantly, he cannot have a clue, because if he knows you're leaving, he's going to disrupt your plan. And it's crazy because one of the last things she mentioned was gifts, when she was talking about unrealistic expectation. A guy buys you a cell phone and he gives it to you fully set up. You don't think he did anything to it. A new car and come home smiling. Here's the keys to your new car, honey. You don't think I put a tracking device on that thing? Now, let's be clear. This is not every relationship. This is only the abusive ones. Normal, well-meaning people don't even think to do these kind of things. Right. But I was the IT guy in the 90s when I was performing my abusive behavior. So, yeah, you know, people don't think you could track stuff, all kind of stuff in your pager. Yeah. The guy, I knew how to do this before it was popular and everybody else was doing it.
Yeah.
So we got to be careful about who we meet, who we associate with, and different things of that nature. You know, we talked about women with the expectations cause you to lose your job. Most of the stories about my first wife who caused me to lose, and this was in 97. This is when 62,000 was a lot of money. In 97, I got a job making 62 grand. She didn't have a job. She called me to lose my 62K a year job. And then look at what we gonna do. What you mean we going? I guess we're gonna be homeless. I don't understand the question. You know, just because she had insecurities, no doubt put some of them there, but some of them came with the package. And so she would want to do things like check my work voicemail. And I remember a time she checked my work voicemail, and the young lady, I was a sophomore, and the young lady gave me a message saying, I'm going to the ladies' room, and when I finish, I'll meet you in the classroom. So she told me to be in the classroom for a different type of class. I was teaching Microsoft Excel. But things like that escalated until eventually I didn't have that job anymore. So we're going to do this. We're going to talk about quick involvement for a minute because that's important. This is what I need you all to know. You need to know a person before you say, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend. You can't meet me today and be committed to me tomorrow because the real me hasn't come up yet. I remember he was talking about Baron Howard. He always talked about time, trust, and testimony, the 3 T's of a relationship. And the first one is trust. Why? Because it takes time to build trust. You have to go out with the person, kick it with them in public, meet their family, meet their friends, and get to know that they are the same in any environment. And once trust is established, it took time. So not only do you have time, but you have trust. And then you also have a testimony because in this time of building trust, you probably went through something. You had an argument, you had a disagreement, you had a commotion of some sort. And you saw that in these 6 months, this person's going to stick with me and we can make this work. But if you commit to me in 1 week, you don't know if I'm an abuser, if I'm a psycho, or if I'm a good old faithful man. So we take time and invest ourselves in these relationships. We can't just jump in with both feet because she fat in the mug. Fat in the mug can be crazy in the mug. Because she look good or because she got a well-meaning job. You know what? None of that matters once they come home and go at your head. None of that matters. None of that matters. I'm sure Al Green didn't think about his money when he was getting grits dumped on his back. That's the last thing that came with. Probably not the last thing because he had to pay for that hospital bill. But I'm sure it wasn't like that, you know. So
but that's the hospital bill that she caused.
Yeah, hospital bill. I'm glad you pointed that out. That she caused.
That she caused.
That she probably didn't have to pay for.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. A lot of times we get in these situations, and because we have our insecurities, we cause situations that we don't have to pay for. You know, like verbal abuse. Where are my notes? Because when you was talking about verbal abuse, one thing you said is they don't really want to hit you.
Never.
How true that is. I didn't really want to hit her, but it was a last resort. You're not listening to me. I done yelled, I done shouted, I done cussed, I done did everything I could. Okay, now I gotta grab you up. Now let me tell you why we don't want to hit you. We don't want to hit you because hitting you gets us locked up. You doesn't do that. Any of my other abusive behaviors, my unrealistic expectations won't get me locked up. None of that. But if I put my hands on you, now you feel like you can call the police.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. You call the police. They come and get me, and I go away for a day or two. When I come back home, what do you think is going to happen to you? Yeah, you're going to catch it. You know, I remember telling my first wife, you think your father used to beat you up? Wait till I get with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we gotta be. That's why we have to avoid these situations altogether. Then we don't have to be worried about is he going to yell, is he going to cuss, is he going to fuss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you can. I remember I'm married now and I'm happy and I'm stable and I'm solid. I'm non-abusive, non-invasive, but I'm not nonchalant. But I
Mm-hmm.
remember me and my wife were dating. We had a couple of arguments. And one thing she used to say to me is, "You drive erratic." And everybody who knows me know I drive kind of erratic. And she said, "If you ever get in an accident and I get hurt, I'm breaking up with you." Well, I really like this woman, so I kind of changed my behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why she was in the car. I ain't even going to lie. I say I became a new driver. But when I opened the door, put her in the car, my behavior became modified. Well, we have good modifications and we have bad modifications. I might want my behavior around your parents because your dad will see something that I do and call you and say, "Hey, that guy's no good." You know, I was once at a young lady's house having dinner with her family and called her another young lady I was dating. Their names sound closely alike, but that's no excuse. The girl father's looking at me like, "Did he just call you?" Yeah, I'm over there sweating like, dang, of all people to hear me, had to be him.
Father, yeah.
If it was his sister or the brother, maybe I could have played it off. But the father said, "Did you just?" I'm like, yeah, it was a slip, pops. You know, I mean, it went away, but that was a red flag to him.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm making. We see red flags in other people's relationships, but maybe we're scared to say, "Yeah, you should break up with him."
Yeah.
Maybe we're scared to say, "You know what, that guy's not any good." You know,
Yeah.
we have to, as advisors, as consultants, as counselors, as coaches, we have to be the one to step up and say to you, "Hey, bro, that's not a good look."
Yeah.
Anytime I see a man with his baby by himself, try my best to say, "Bro, that's a good look."
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm quick to tell. I manage a restaurant. My staff is mostly teens, and they're with the quick involvement thing, but they don't know. Like, I mean, one girl went from one guy to two different guys, maybe in 3 different weeks.
Yeah.
No damn with them. And I sit down with them and constantly have to preach to them and say, "Look, you're making bad decisions. You don't really know him. You're telling him it's hard, but he works with me. That doesn't mean anything. That mean that man can't quit his job. You don't think if you come up missing, he gonna come to work the next day? If he had something to do with it? No, let's be realistic about that. You know, and we gotta think. We gotta most importantly, our parents have to know this so they can spill this into us.
Mm-hmm.
Because the guy with the two kids at 14 told me he grew up, he ain't have a father, he didn't know what to do. Nobody told him what the art of a condom was. And I can relate to that. I grew up without a dad. Nobody told me about none of that. I got 8 kids, but I'm 47. All right, so it's different for me. I'm not 14.
Mm-hmm.
How long do we use the "my dad wasn't there" story? How long do we use the "I grew up in foster care" story? How long do we use the "my father used to beat me, so as long as you don't hit me worse than my father did, then you cool"? How long do we ride these stories out in our life instead of making the transition?
Chris, hold on though. You really do have females who believe that, you know, if you don't hit me harder than my father did, then it's okay.
Oh yeah.
So we have these females out here who actually believe that. And to piggyback off of what you're saying, somebody once again put in my inbox a black female. It was a picture of her looking very beautiful. And then it was some pictures beside her where she say, "My boyfriend beat me up a lot." you know, and she had a black eye and it was puffy and it was black underneath. And you know what black eyes look like, and I know what they look like, and y'all know what they look like. And she was saying that I still love him. I know at some point he's not going to do this to me. So as the abuser, do she really know at some point that it's going to stop?
No, she has no clue. And just to add to that, I've had him tell me, if you don't hit me, you don't love me.
OMG.
Yeah. And I remember cocking back extra far. I mean, I probably swung my fist back to Mississippi to show her I loved her.
Wow. I mean you actually can get trophies for this. You win. You actually win for this.
Yeah, but it wasn't, at some point it wasn't foreign to me anymore. It was like, okay, this is just the norm. So these guys out here that smile and happy and he ain't got to beat his girlfriend, there's something wrong with them. This is normal. If you're not choking out your chick, then you the messed up one. This is normal.
Right.
Like how crazy do I sound?
You know, and some people were saying, this is getting off top of it just a little bit slightly, but so do abusers hang around other abusers? Is this like a whole winning thing type of thing?
You know, I've never been asked that before. I didn't hang around other abusers because I think my friends would have shunned me if they knew that I was like doing what I was doing. The only other abusers I hung around, and well, I didn't. Okay, so I knew it was abuse, but I didn't know how bad it was the guys who taught me the behavior. Well, because they were doing it, it seemed okay. So I picked it up and it worked for me. But no, it wasn't like a monthly abusers meeting at my house, or we didn't get around to talk about,
because friends and family members think that, you know, because you friends with this person or you friends with that person, they actually condone or are a part of, or everybody in that circle is an abuser because they may see you doing it. You see what I mean? So friends and family say, oh, birds of a feather flock together. But you're saying that's not always the case.
Nah, we didn't have meetings. It was a letter that was written. The slave dude wrote it to
Jim Crow.
No, not that one. But Willie Lynch. The Willie Lynch letter. Yeah, we didn't have our own version of the Willie Lynch letter on how to check emails.
Okay.
We didn't meet up once a month and say, so how'd you slap your girl this month? We didn't do that. The only people that I saw, other than the people who taught me, maybe the people that was in anger management or the people that I was in a cell block with, but rarely when you say, well, what you in here for, I ain't never say hitting a female.
Right. Okay. So what do abusers say when they go on the other side of that wall when it is for domestic violence or hitting a female? What do they say?
I would just say, I got into a fight.
Oh, okay. And what did the court call it? What did the court system call your case?
Initially, it was assault on a female.
Assault on a female. Assault on a female.
Yeah. Well, assault, but it was on a female.
Okay, but did they specify assault on a female, or was it just an assault?
It was just assault.
It was just assault because at that time you're not thinking you really hit no female, or what? What was your mind at the time?
Well, no, I knew I hit her, but I didn't know the word domestic violence. That wasn't a proper term in the courts then.
Oh, shucks.
So me hitting her was the same as me hitting a random dude.
Right.
But then eventually the courts got hit and was like, wait a minute, we need to look at this differently. And they came up with this term domestic violence. And so by the 10th time, I'm throwing out a random number because it was a lot. Now the judge say, this domestic violence has to stop. We want to order you to anger management. And I say, domestic violence? What?
What
the anger management?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll go. What happens if I don't go? Oh, then you go to 6 months. Yeah, so I'm going to anger management. That's 3 days long.
and the thing about it is that, and some people want to know out there, So how effective is anger management? Because you get abusers who go in and come back out the same way. You know, some people say he doing the same thing. He ain't changed.
Well, let me start this because I believe you know where I'm going with this because this is a question that's popped up a lot. Anger management is what made me not abuse anymore. All right, because anger management made me angry. I had
Please explain that. Please explain that.
the anger management instructors, the moderators, they aren't former abusers, they aren't former drug addicts, they aren't former anything. They're regular people that went to college and got some advanced degree in, I don't know, anger management, whatever they study, psychology.
101.
Yeah, that type stuff. And then they preaching to us. And so at some point, day two, I say, so while we listening to y'all, I'm hearing everything. By chance, you ever done anything that we ain't here for? And he said, what y'all in here for? Wait, you don't know what we're in here for? You really don't?
You supposed to be the instructor.
You supposed to be the instructor. You don't know? So you ain't take time to get to know nobody. You just got a one-size-fits-all solution that is not going to be a solution to 90% of us.
Right.
But again, the reason why, and people laugh when I tell them this, between eating, I'm trained. I went to culinary school. I have advanced culinary training. All right, so eating jail food ain't gonna work for me. Anger management, them people not gonna work for me. So when you factor both of those things in, that kind of helped me. And then I had an uncle who was on a wagon. Well, he was on a drug wagon. Okay, but I watched his life and he was going downhill. So watching him between these three factors, it helped me to say, you know what, God damn, let's just do right. Let's just do right. You've been taught right from wrong. Just like I was taught to do wrong, I was retaught right. So I do right.
Mm-hmm. So that brings me to the question of where people say, can abusers be reformed or can they change?
Of course, I haven't hit a female since January 1st, 2000. It's been 22 years. I've been domestic violence free. I've been substance abuse free. I ain't gonna say I ain't been angry since then.
Of course.
I've been angry, but I haven't snapped off and went in a rage and flipped over I used to flip over tables in nightclubs and stuff. I ain't done none of that. My behavior totally changed. 2000. But remember, I wanted my behavior to change. And I needed, more importantly, my behavior to change. I was young and successful. In order to stay successful, I got to clean up because, and I'm going to deviate for a second. One of the things, like we used to talk about sex addiction, one of the things I always worried about when I was in this place is, what if it get raided? So now I'm working with Queen of Fee. I got to cut that behavior out. One, because now I'm advocating. Two, because if she see me on the news, she cut me. So now we have to really modify our behaviors. Now, for me, I modified my behaviors before I started working with domestic violence with many tags. So by the time she got to me or we got to each other, I was reformed. But, everybody doesn't reform at the same rate. But anybody who is once on something, you used to be an alcoholic. I'm thinking, I don't want to misphrase, but now you pay. I don't know when the last time you drank was, but I know you since 2006.
Shoot, let me say something to you. The last time I took a drink, and I need one right now.
See, now I don't know. That's like, I don't know when the last time I beat a girl, but I can sure beat one right now.
I need Remy Martin to come on and step up in right now. With this conversation you got me on tonight. This whole little domestic violence thing can make you crazy. When you're trying to help the crazy, you go crazy.
Yeah. But
you know what I'm saying? So, but my last drink, let me get that out there for somebody say they saw me at the liquor store. And you might see me at the liquor store. But my last drink, I think was about maybe 15 years ago. Maybe 15 years ago, I had my last drink. So, I mean, I feel like people can reform. I agree with what you're saying. People can reform, but do you at a time? Is that something that you really want to do? Because, and I mean, think about it too. Like you said, most people do not come out and say, I'm the abuser. You know what I mean? So how the abuser gonna get reformed if nobody is saying they are the abuser? Why is everybody a victim when it comes to domestic violence? Well, you know, research go back to abusers once being potential victims. You know, and this behavior has spurred up in them some way. Or is it, you know, DNA, where, you know, we have these violent tendencies in our blood and it happens like this? What is it? Because, you know, at this point, I feel like we need to start encouraging the abuser to get help, because we're not going to end domestic violence without that. Now, I want to go back to one more point that you made. And you made the point of quick involvement in our young people, you know, jumping into these premature sexual relationships and getting pregnant prematurely with somebody that they don't even know. You know, what can we do to help that?
Well, the first thing we need to do is educate the parents. But the second thing we need to do is not say, that's not my child, I don't care. Let me give you an example again from the job. We're going to call this guy Michael, and we're going to call the girl Priscilla. Both of them start around the same time. So I say to him, go ahead, guy, get the number. But I'm playing with him. But he come back with the number. And I was like, oh, that's what's up. You got a little swag. Well, he was a virgin, okay? And he was an attorney. She was looser than the carpet in a 4-unit building. I didn't know none of this at the time. A week later, they come back, yeah, I hit that. I'm like, whoa, already? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, you were just a virgin, bro. You should have, whoa. And I sat down with him. I was like, bro, you can't do that. That was priceless. You're a 16-year-old virgin. Like, you can't find one of them. And you gave it up to a girl that was a freak. You could have saved that for your wife or for a regular girlfriend. But, brother, you cannot just go around dropping and hitting and things like that. You can't. And, I mean, he seemed to get the message. He doesn't work with me anymore, so I don't really know what he's doing. But I made sure that I didn't let that opportunity pass to sit down and talk to this dude. Right. And I try to – a lot of opportunities get past me because I'm at work, and I know some parents don't want me. This is my kid. I can do what I want with my kid. And I get that. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to let you have your kid. But the parents that appreciate my help, I help. Mom is saying, I worked with a young dude, and his sister came to the store the other day. And I was like, oh, look, I live around the corner. Drop me off at home. She was like, my boyfriend will kill you. I was like, dang, I wasn't trying to do that.
I know, but you know what, Chris? I said, the young girls be knowing that their boyfriends be carrying these pistols and have threatened to kill them several times before they actually pull the trigger. Oh, they be knowing. They be knowing.
I was just like, wow. Like, I'm literally, when I get in the lift to go to work, I'm in the car for 4 minutes. Like, you can't give me a 4-minute ride. And when she said, my boyfriend killed you, I carefully stepped back from the car. But I know her mom, because remember, her brother works at my store. So the next thing I say to her mom, just out of caution, and I showed her how I advocate. Matter of fact, I showed her the flyer for this. And she said, oh, good job. I like that. And I said, well, now that you know what I do, let's talk about your daughter. I asked her for a ride home. And she told me the dude, if I get in the car, the dude going to kill me. And he tracking her location and this and that and that. And she said, really? I didn't know none of that. But I'll be sure to take care of that. And I'm like, hey, you need to get on that. And then I went to the brother. I said, you need to check this dude your sister with. He claimed it ain't like that. But he said he ain't kill you get in this car. Like, I wouldn't even get a grocery bag out the trunk.
Me neither. I mean, thank God she told you, but that's what I'm saying. They be knowing. My daughter knew that dude was on some different stuff, okay? They be knowing, and they say things, and we don't, under the radar, and we as parents, I mean, some of us, it just go right over our head. It's like, okay, they'll grow up out of it. Nah, they just mad for the moment. It's only going to last for the moment. But come to find out, your daughter or your son be in a whole situation. But Chris, give us your last few words of encouragement.
Before doing anything in life, not just relationships, think about it, plan it out, strategize, take time, invest time. Sometimes you got to invest money, but especially time in any situation.
Yeah.
Remember certain things like quick involvement. Remember the tags, the verbal abuse, jealousy, unrealistic expectations. Think
Yeah.
about this. If it doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. Walk away now. Because once you hooked on the fish reel, you stuck. You be like that fish just flopping around trying to get off, and you're never gonna make it. Every now and then a fish does make it off the hook, but what's the chance you're gonna be that fish?
Right.
In this scenario, the hook is your home. The hook is the guy. The line is your home. How often do you make it out of your home alive? A lot of people do, but a lot of people don't. You don't have to be the one that does it. We are here for you. And everybody who knows me knows if I'm not at work, I take phone calls up until midnight. And now that I work overnight, you got all day to call me and ask me to help you.
Yeah.
He knows how to reach me. I'm easily found on social media. I mean, it's 30,000 ways to contact me. You can knock on my door if you were male. If you were female, don't come knock on my door. Call Queen. But because that's something I gotta say to people. I've had friends call me and say my husband, and while they were serious about their husband, you also got the ones that call you and say, "Well, can you come over? He's not here." Nah, shawty, I ain't about that life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm married. I'm stable. Like I said before, I'm solid. My wife can tell you in the time we've been together, I ain't never raised my hand to her. I ain't never said a lot of stuff I say to women. I ain't never told her you ain't ish without me. I ain't never said, we done had some arguments and disagreements. If she was here, she'd tell you we done had some. But we ain't never got out of line to the point where we had to intervene with somebody. Then some moment, I had some nights where I slept in the car, but she didn't kick me out. I chose to go sleep in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is scripture in the Bible that says, better for a man to dwell in the corner of his roof of his home to live with a contentious woman or to dwell in the wilderness. And I would say my wilderness is the car. And at some point, she'll come back out and get me.
Mm-hmm.
But we never had what we term as domestic violence in our house.
Yeah.
We had basic arguments, basic commotion, but yeah. And I'm sure she probably thought about hitting me before because I could be a bit much, but she never did.
Right.
Everybody who knows I could be a bit much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so this is what you got to do. Take time and invest. We was together 2 years. For 2 years, she saw my behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
Cars being repossessed. She saw that. I remember one day I was planning a special weekend. I flew in town, had her meet me at the airport with my car, get to my house, the lights off.
Right.
She saw me in my goods. She saw me in my bag. It was funny because I went to the car, Queen. I tried to be slick. I got the money, but I was traveling. I go to the car, hook my laptop up to the Wi-Fi, pay the bill, try to be slick. And I saw a place on my life by going, it's going to take 48 hours. I was like, dang, damn it.
Don't we all? We all got our little slick stuff that we be doing.
No, but she was right there. She knew what I was doing.
Right.
But the point I'm making to everybody that's under the sound of my voice is she saw me in my good and she saw me in my bad.
Mm-hmm.
She knew when I was traveling 21 days a month, and she saw that I was faithful when I was out of town. So that means most likely you're gonna be faithful when you're home.
Yeah. No unkept secrets.
No unkept secrets.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was open.
She saw me in my good. She saw me in my bad.
Well, thank you, Chris, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, in the building. Okay. Coming in and still spread that love, still spreading that message. Domestic violence with me takes always got the door open for you. Because Your story is so prevalent and so important because we got to start including abusers in getting the help. And that is what you came to do tonight, to have that conversation, dinner table conversation like we always have.
Hey, Queen.
Yeah.
She just texted me and said, nope, never thought about hitting you. Never would do that.
She watching. Okay. That's right, mama.
And see, that's why I tell people, you got to be honest about this. She watching. That's why I never told her this. And she clicked on the link. Yeah. And just happened to see me. And I'm talking about I used to beat up women.
Yeah.
What's she gonna think now?
What you gonna think?
You gotta be transparent about this.
You got to.
You gotta take time. Oh, let me throw one thing out there.
Folks got to stop covering up.
What's that saying? Corey up.
Covering up. Folks got to stop covering up.
But also we gotta ask a question. We can't be scared to ask, did your last boyfriend beat you up? Have you ever been molested? Have you ever been raped? Unstable. Yeah. I used to be
unstable.
She got index cards.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what Queen do. Everybody know me. Y'all know me out there. Look, they know I come with a deck of words, bro. A deck of words for them.
All right.
You don't know them. See what I'm saying? They don't know them. They don't know the words.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? They scared of the words. You see what I'm saying? They scared of the words, so I put them up there. Discuss. You see what I mean? We got some disgusting individuals at our dinner table. You know what I'm saying? And they can't realize to put the word with I'm discussing with you. They say other words. You know whatever word they say. You are being manipulated.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
That's a big.
You're being manipulated.
That is a
You're being manipulated. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? I got the words for them. We got children at our dinner table that had terrible outbursts.
Ooh.
Outbursts off the chain. Okay? And what? We look at them like they're crazy still, like you said, pull them over and talk to them. Find out where it could be coming from. Because like you said, it could be some sexual abuse going on. You know what I'm saying? It could be some sexual abuse going on. We don't realize that, our young people got something to say. They got something to say. They got feelings. Some of them are very disoriented at the dinner table. Very disoriented because it's so much scandal. It's so much confusion. It's so many lies. They don't know what to believe. They don't know who lying, who telling the truth. And they become disoriented in it all. And they get to a place where I'm like, man, I'm tired of trying to figure this mess out. And they become bitter. And they don't want to talk to you. And they get to a space where, there is no honor our mother and our father at the table. There is none. Because you ain't credible. You ain't credible to serve this word. Y'all better stop playing with me out there, sirs. I'm done. I'm gone. Because I got a stack of words that you don't know. You don't know. And we do not whip the words out at the dinner table. We do not talk about the children, telling about our setbacks that we have had in life. We don't talk about our setbacks with our young people. We try to make them think that this is the life we always live. We don't talk about our hurt, pain, and struggles and setbacks like what you were saying here, Chris, when you had to go ahead and pay the light bill because your wife didn't, you on some other stuff. See what I mean? We don't talk about those gutless feelings that we feel when somebody have hurt us and it feel like they just snatched our gut right from underneath us. And we don't talk about our gut. We're not even in touch with our gut. We're not even in touch with the feelings that we have in our gut. Most people will believe your gut before they believe their own gut because they're not in touch with their gut and the feelings that come to them. Oh, I ain't got no trust. I ain't got no trust for nobody. I don't do trust. You know why you don't do trust? Because you broken, you bitter, you confused, you disoriented, you disgusted. So no, you don't trust nobody. I get it. I understand. I got it. I understand. And guess what you do? So you aim less. You aim less towards your destiny, towards your purpose. So I'm done. Hold on, I got one more. Stereotype. Oh, we stereotype real bad. Real bad. Because we say males can't be victims of domestic violence. We stereotype the abuse and say, oh, he was born this way. Or she was born this way. They was born angry and mad. We stereotype everybody at our dinner table. This is ridiculous. But we don't use the words. We don't use the words. We don't know the words. We don't know the definition of the words. We don't talk about the words. And these are the words that our young people want to talk about at our dinner table. When I have a conversation with our young people with these words, Chris, they be on fire about the words when I whip them out. Our young men and our young girls. Because they want to understand, what am I actually feeling? What is the words to feeling? You see what I mean? And so when we don't give them that, we do a disservice to them once again. So, Chris, I thank you. Thank you, wifey. Thank you, wifey, for being out there, girl. Listening in. That's right. Take your notes. Because this conversation that we had tonight was beautiful. We did exactly what we always do. Put that message out there that the abuser need help too. And that the abuser, we got to start encouraging them to get help. We got to start encouraging them that Chris Barnes is out here to talk to somebody. Or Queen Afia is out here to talk to somebody. The resources are here. The hope and the healing and the help is here. But you got to want it. Like Chris said, you got to want it. You got to come to a place where you want it. Where you want to know. And ain't nobody say change tomorrow, change right now. It's a process, brothers, sisters. But you got to start asking questions somewhere. You got to start talking to somebody and getting your questions, getting your why questions answered. The abuser got to get their why questions answered too. And that's what we try to do here tonight. So I want to thank everybody for chiming in tonight. Chris, thank you so much. You know it's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to have you here with us. Guys, look, we got to make sure that we continue to do and uplift our dinner tables. We got to share this broadcast because it's something on here that is powerful that has been said. Okay, and I want to throw it out there that my mom said that I have been sober for 15 years. Thanks, Mom. And she's very proud of me. So I had to put that out there. But we got to know that, it's some help and healing out here. And some of us, you got to go behind your family back and reach out and get it. Don't nobody got to know. Like I tell you, don't nobody got to know. You can step out and do this thing in secret. And a lot of things are remote. I have a lot of students that are remote. Domestic violence with as many texts has been remote before the pandemic. We've been helping people with our anonymous calls, with our sessions that we host remotely before the pandemic. So we've been doing this work. Period. We've been talking to people. We've been helping people. We've been hosting classes. When we have our in-person sessions, we was having people come out. People were coming out to the classes, okay? Because what we provide you all is something new, something fresh, something different under this conversation. We want everybody to be helped. We don't want nobody to be left out when it comes to domestic violence. We want everybody at that dinner table to have a voice. We want to hear from the victims, and we want to hear from the abusers. Women, men, teens, boys, and girls. Don't nobody gotta know that you have reached out in secret, that you got some questions on your heart, that you have been led to say, let me DM Queen Afia. Serious inquiries only. Serious inquiries only. The work that I do here, the work that Chris Barnes do here, the work that all the volunteers do for domestic violence, we take it very seriously. Okay? Because we're having another kind of conversation when it comes to this. So it's unique, it's different. And the way we educate is from more of a classroom perspective, as opposed to a pamphlet or where's the nearest shelter I can get to, right? Yes, we want you to get safe, but we want you to be smart and devise a plan, because we know that the abuser is smart. and know every movement that that victim make, and that the victim cannot make a movement without the abuser knowing. So no, she shouldn't be picking up her regular cell phone that they shared, talking about some 911, or Queen Afia and your abuser got the app where when your phone ring, his phone ring, or when a text message come to his phone, come to your phone, it goes to his phone or go to her phone. And she could see and women is good for spying. They be on Maury talking about, I'm an investigator, and I got through all the passcodes. And they think this stuff is cute. They think this stuff is okay to do. You are violating the privacy of the person that you said you care about. And all of us that are smart and healthy in these relationships, we know everything that you do in the dark will come to the light. Believe that. And you ain't got to go to jail. And you ain't got to break nobody passcodes and pay for all these I-Spy tools on your phone to see if somebody lying to you. Trusting them. Let me tell you something. God had walked me into many places and showed me flat out that the guy was a liar, a cheat, and a thief. And I never had to pick up his phone. It's just the point. Do you believe God when he showed it to you? Some of us struggle with believing the Creator when he showed it to us. When we talk about praise the Lord. Praise the Lord, God is good. But when he show you that person is corrupt, you don't believe him. You struggle with it. You can't accept it. It's hard. I can't believe it. Like my daughter. She couldn't believe it. She refused to believe it. But I know deep down inside, if Smiley could turn back the hands of time, if my daughter could turn back the hands of time, honey, she'd have ate everything that her mother said. She'd ate it, and she would have been here with her own child. But guess what? Domestic violence ain't meant for us to make it out. It's meant for us to die. So you see me sitting here. It ain't by my own doing. You saw Chris Barnes on here. It ain't by his own doing that we here. It's a miracle that everybody who is dealing with domestic violence and you still alive, it's a miracle. Because that young girl just lost her life a couple of days ago. 30 years old and left 6 children behind. Because it's meant for you to die. More people are going to die, and especially when we telling them, just leave, just leave, just leave. They definitely going to die. Because the abuser can track that victim down like nobody's business. Nobody's business. And you heard it here tonight with domestic violence wisdom takes. Ain't nobody going to tell you like this here. Okay? They're not going to tell you like this here. But you take everything that we said here tonight, you sum it up and package it for your life and for your children's life and for that dinner table. You sum it up and package it there. And you start sharing. You start sharing about this live here that we did tonight. You get your dinner table and get all the children in and get them here tonight to get some popcorn and pop your popcorn and get the children over here and watch this tonight, because February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. And we done put it out there for them tonight. So I want y'all to go in peace and love. Look, if you know somebody who's going through it, of course, they can reach out to me. I'm reachable. Okay? Serious inquiries only. Some of us who want to call in secret, you can call the 1-800-799-SAFE domestic violence hotline number. And that number should give you all the current resources in your state. Okay? And the thing about that is you can get tossed over and this program is not here no more, and this program is not. You just got to keep going until you get hold to a program that is still operating, still willing to take intake during COVID. It's hard to get in shelters and things right now because COVID is still prevalent, so it's hard for victims to really escape because of that, And the thing about the escape too is that, the abuser knows where the shelters are, where the programs are and everything. Anyway, so, where's the victim going to go? Literally. That's why the victim needs help. Him or her, that victim, You need help devising that plan. Trust and know that. Queen telling you right now, heart to heart, break bread with you. You need help because psychologically you're not there. You cannot discern what to do. If you need the help, reach out. Peace and love, my brothers and sisters. I want y'all to go in peace and love. And I want y'all to tell somebody, domestic violence wears many tags. Go in peace and love, my brothers and sisters. Go in peace and love. Thank you for chiming in tonight.